стриму наступ ворога. Потребуємо мікроавтобус для виконання бойових задач і очищення українського неба від ворожих крил. Звертаємось до команди Car for Ukraine та Бандера Мобіль з проханням допомогти з закупівлею, підготовкою доставкою авто, а також до Renegade Changus та Канті Людан і їх спільноти з проханням допомогти підтримати збір. Слава Україні!
Героям слава!
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the eve of the Alaska Summit tomorrow. Oh, God. Should be interesting to see the news coming out of there. Oh, it's going to be huge. Oh, don't expect much, but it's going to be huge. But don't expect much. But it's going to be huge. Is basically what we're hearing from basically everyone. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Right now, Donetsk is the only region under air alert. They're back to normal. Has been under air alert for 2 hours, 12 minutes. Air alerts stretched across Ukraine earlier this evening. A lot of aircraft taking off and then not doing anything inside Russia. Meanwhile, there has been a lot of talk about Ukrainian strikes going out tonight, a large drone launch by Ukraine tonight. We're starting to see more information coming in about the areas hit. We'll get into that with the Telegram segment later. Mick, good to hear your phone is not acting up anymore. You just got to scold it right. You know, put it in timeout. Make it put a book on its head and Steve's just warming up lunch. Finishing off the yard work from yesterday. Got the lawn mowed. Got it knocked down to a reasonable level, so that's set for another week or so. Never ends the yard work. Sometimes I wish I was in an apartment in the city so I did not have to worry about yard work. I wonder what city. See who's all in chat. Adam Rounds, M35. No, I'm not talking to you, Siri.
For who's all in chat, Adam Brown. Check it out.
You've heard that, right? Siri's trying to muscle in on my stream. Put her in the drawer. Daughter Pat, Adam Rounds, M35, already said that. Indie Dark Star, Posami, Mick Riley. See who else has made it. Linda H, Steve Sane, and it looks like I'm caught up. Oh yes, the AI video from Budanov in Alaska. um, I'd love to show you guys that, but YouTube has a hissy fit anytime you show AI generated content. You have to do this whole spiel with YouTube to say yes, you're showing AI generated content, and it's just not worth the hassle. Trump might be, but I don't think the people were interested in that. Anyways, hopping into the report for today, as of 8 a.m. August 14th, regarding the Russian invasion. As always, the report starts with glory to Ukraine. The 1,268th day of the large-scale armed aggression of the Russian Federation against Ukraine has begun. In total, 148 combat clashes took place over the past day. The enemy launched 2 missile strikes using 4 missiles and 87 airstrikes using 154 guided bombs on Ukrainian units and settlements. In addition, Russia carried out 5,758 artillery strikes. 82 of those were from MLRSs. They also used 4,423 kamikaze drones to cause destruction. The airstrikes affected, in particular, the areas of the settlements of Boyaro, Lizachi, and Bilovody in Sumy, Pokrovsk in Dnipropetrovsk region, Upensivka, Novoandrivka, Primorsky, Orkhiv, Shervona Kryensnya in Zaporizhia, and Antonovka in Kherson. Over the past day, the defense forces of Ukraine, aviation, missile troops, and artillery units struck 8 areas of concentration of personnel, weapons, and equipment, 2 artillery pieces, a material and technical equipment warehouse, a control point, and a radar station of the Russian invaders. Moving into the individual directions and the deep state map, we come to the North Slobodansk and Kursk directions. Ukrainian defenders repelled 6 attacks by the Russians in this area. The enemy launched 16 airstrikes, dropping a total of 27 guided bombs, carried out an additional 289 artillery strikes, including 14 from multiple launch rocket systems. Moving down to the south, Slobodansk, Kharkiv area. So Kharkiv. 5 clashes took place in the Kharkiv area in the directions of Voschansk. Zooming into Kamienka, Zapidne, let's see, Zapidne and Figolivka right there. Now I just have to find Zapidne right there. Moving down to the Kupiansk area. Ah, stupid flies. I got fly tape up and they still bug me. They're coming in the house because, well, it's getting hot outside. The defense forces repelled the enemy assault actions near Golubivka. Right there. Three attacks in the Kupiansk area near Golubivka were repelled. Heading down further to the south to Liman area. The enemy attacked 13 times, trying to advance in the areas of the settlements of Novovodyansky. This settlement is a little hard to find. That one right there, if you're not zoomed in right, I guess it does show up now. It used to not show up unless you were zoomed way in. Karpivka, which is down here. Rydkobub, Kolodazny, and near Torsky. Heading further to the south to Survisk area. Our defenders repelled 14 assault actions of the occupation forces in the areas of Girogorivka, Novoselka. That's Rizny's right here, but I'm not sure where Novosilka is. Vasily. I don't think it's up here. Ivano Dorivka is now occupied. Okay. So Verkno Kamiansky, Novosilka is this small settlement right here. Okay. So Russia is inching closer to Survisk, unfortunately. But now I know where that one's at and have to zoom in there. Okay, why are they going back to... Oh, duh. Sorry, I lost track of where I was, and it was reading interestingly in my head because of my dyslexia, but oh well. In the Kramatorsk area, coming down here, Slovansk, Kramatorsk, and 3 clashes were recorded. The enemy attacked in the direction of Stupochki and Pretechny, heading just to the south of Pretechny to the Torets direction. The enemy carried out 7 attacks in the areas of Sechirabenivka, Yablunivka, and Rusin Yar, and in the direction of Stefanivka. Oh, we just looked this one up to figure out where that one was at right there. Had a little trouble remembering where that one was located. Moving over to the Pokros direction, multiple updates coming in the Telegram section about this short-lived breakthrough. We'll get to that during the Telegram section. Anyways, in the Pokros direction, our defenders stopped 56 offensive actions of the aggressor in the areas of the settlements of Volodymyrivka, Nakyanorivka, Czerwony Limon, Nowoekonomiczne, Rodzinski, Promin, which is right there, Czerniszny, Zirazowa, Gotine, Udashny, Gorgovo, and I had to not. This town does not even show up on YouTube's, Google Maps. But there's a town right here. That is Novoukrayinka, and Udashny is right here. There's also a Novoukrayinka here. So take your pick whether they're talking about this one or this one. I'm assuming this one. In the Novopavlivska direction. We don't even have to go far because Novopavlivka is right here. And it's in this control of this area of the map. Okay, I gotta get some water. Okay, pardon the interruption. My throat was getting dry. Hard to believe with all the humidity we have, but in the Novopavlivka direction, our defenders stopped 14 attempts to break through the defenses of our troops in the areas of Malivka, I'm assuming that means Tolstoy here, but let me just check to make sure there isn't another town. No, I'm going to assume it's a mistranslation in Tolstoy. Surchenko right here. Alexandrograd here. And that is those areas of the 14 attacks. Moving over to the Huliopol direction, the enemy made one attempt to advance near Malanivka. In the Orhiv direction, coming over to the old Dnipro Reservoir, Orhiv, the enemy was advancing near the settlement of Plavny. In the Dniprovsky direction and Kherson area, let's do a long trip down there. So, Dniprovsky is the head for the rail bridge. The defense forces stopped 4 attempts by the aggressor to advance in this area. Most of those advances are happening towards the rail bridge, towards the Antonovsky Bridge, and in the area of the southern islands. In the Volyn and Polizia directions, no signs of the formation of enemy defense or offensive groups have been detected. Our soldiers continue to inflict significant losses both in manpower and equipment on the occupation forces and are actively undermining the enemy's offensive potential in the rear. The report goes into the losses. We'll cover that with the graphic here shortly. And the report ends, as usual, with join the defense forces. Together we will win, and glory to Ukraine. Okay, I see you know they exist, talking about that pink Himalayan salt. Um, there's one thing you have to realize with using that pink Himalayan salt is in America we don't eat a lot of fish. So getting oh frick, what's it called? Iodine is very hard for American diet. So the processed salt we have in America has iodine added to it, and that's how most Americans get their salt. So if you start using like that pink Himalayan salt, there's no iodine added. Eat more fish. Just saying. BB's made it. Anton has made it. Mr. Squiggle, welcome, welcome, welcome. Nunu, welcome as well. Let me get caught up with chat here really quick. Okay, what are you folks talking about? Olive leaf extract stops the virus? What virus? Yeah, my throat maybe needs some hot mustard, but our fundraiser needs more funds. Let me go to the air raid map as I'm catching up. Oh, working on your being sick, I see. Nura, hello. Grunge thing, hello. Oil of oregano in pill form? Ooh. Yes, tuna fish is my main source of iodine. But that's me. Yeah, there's a bunch of little home remedies that help you get over the cold. Um, chicken soup has always been like one of the main ones, and that's more because of the broth than the chicken or the noodles or whatever else is in it. Um, bone broth definitely healthy for you, but yeah, the exist just said that in chat too. That's funny. Um, yeah, go back to bed, BB. Get better, and oh, I forgot what the brand name is, but I don't know what tuna that John West rejects. I don't even know who John West is. Uh, yeah, alcohol kills all. Definitely, that is one of the remedies out there. Yeah, feel better, BB. Get some rest. Moving over to the Russian losses for yesterday. The is coming out at 8 a.m. Ukraine time on the 14th. 990 soldiers or personnel killed or wounded. 5 tanks destroyed. 3 armored personnel vehicles. 29 artillery systems. 1 MLRS. 191 UAVs, and matching that with vehicles for an additional 191 in vehicles. That is the Russian losses for today. About 2,000 from a really good number. So about 2 days. Kind of funny. The day after Trump's meeting will be 1,069,000. Kind of funny. Air alert maps up. Time to, well, I forgot to check before I started the stream. Of course, Zelensky having a lot of meetings today, but I did not check to see if he did a speech today, which he did not. But as you can see, there is another batch of Ukrainians that have come home. I have those messages or those videos and information in Canty Center. But before I talk about the fundraiser, let's go back to the top of the day and get on the subject of last night's drones. Yeah, that's the AI video. I'll have to go and find that disclaimer I'm supposed to read before playing that. Do the best I can from memory, anyways, at the very least. 47 air targets last night. 24 drones were shot down. So 60%. And 0 of 2 S300, S400 missiles. You got to remember that these systems right here, anti-aircraft warfare systems. These missiles were designed to shoot down aircraft, and they're using them against apartment buildings. So 2 of them launched, 0 shot down. 47 drones launched, 24 shot down. And you can help this number increase by helping out the 5th Border Guard Prime Unit with our fundraiser, because we are fundraising for a van for these guys that is equipped with anti-Shaheed systems, electronic warfare, and maybe even an anti-aircraft gun to shoot them down. So let's get this fundraiser done, and get them the vehicle they need. Technically, the fundraiser is completed. 253,000. We're over 253,000, which was the goal of the overall campaign. But we are still going to be raising until I head to Ukraine. I'm assuming a dart is slang for a cigarette. Not right now. My throat's a little hurting a little. Well, I don't know what to rant about. You know they exist. Are we supposed to expect everything from this meeting in Alaska? Or nothing? Because I've been told both by the same person multiple times. In a circular fashion. Expect a whole lot. Expect nothing. Expect a whole lot. Nothing. If the meeting accounts to nothing, then I won't let anybody know. Yeah. The blue genie on Spectrum No idea what you're talking about there. So yeah, I try to stay away from American politics on my streams because, well, frankly, American politics is always going to be a shithole. Um, there is not enough good people willing to put in the effort to change it. There are good people out there trying to change it, but it's a horrific mess. Um, we people love to talk about, oh, the corruption in blah 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 blah, the corruption here, the corruption there. Um, a local story. There was a tornado in my town going on 10 years ago now. A furniture store sent a truckload of furniture to help people rebuild lives after the tornado. Not a single person in town got any piece of furniture out of that. It disappeared until about a year and a half ago. Strangely, right after the statute of limitations run out, and nobody can press charges now. But somebody had an auction with a bunch of brand new furniture that's never been used. And that person was the former mayor of my town. Yeah, we love to sit there and talk about other people's corruption. Oh, how Ukraine's so corrupt and so-and-so's embezzling. And, when you point a finger, you have three fingers pointing right back at you. So, yeah, I've seen and witnessed corruption firsthand. I had holes in my roof, water leaking through my ceiling, ruined some furniture of mine. I could have used that furniture. I could have used a chair or a couch or a bed. But no, I had to go out and buy it on my own because a trailer load of furniture disappeared and someone pocketed it. That's personal story. Sticking with South Dakota, quite a few years back now, around the same time as the hurricane. The state of South Dakota was selling green cards to Chinese nationals to invest in a meat processing plant in South Dakota. The land was bought. The building shell was built. About 13 million, I'm sorry. 13 million was raised for this. About 3 million was spent on buying the land and building the building. To this day, not a single piece of processing equipment has been put into that building. The money is all gone. And oh yeah, who was the governor of South Dakota before 2025? I wonder. Yeah. So just remember, when you're talking about other people's corruptions, take a good look at your home front first. Yeah, I wish it was a law for everyone. Unfortunately, there's a very good argument that laws in the US are meant to keep the poor people poor and is enforced on the poor, where the rich people, Uh, oh, I like that one, not Sherlock Holmes. Let Pubin and Forrest Trump talk and agree all they want means nothing until Ukraine says yes or no. True. Very true. Uh, and Grunge thing saying it's not a partisan thing. The law should be for everyone. It's not. Unfortunately, America the free. Yeah, the free if you have money. Um, you have 7 figures in the bank. America is the land of freedom. You don't, and you might as well be. Well, I won't go that far, but I'm still curious about this blue genie thing. I don't know what that means. They exist. You'll have to send me a picture or something on Discord. Anyways, back to the subject at hand, since I got distracted with US politics and corruption bullshit. We have raised 5,712 euros and 56 cents with 113 donations. As I said, the fundraiser is officially met. But me and Chungus are going to keep going until we hit the 11,000. It just means more goes to the next vehicle. Let's take a look at the overall campaign. History of everything hitting the top spot with over 55,000. Ukraine Matters with 46. Emu Squad with 26. Anna Monarchy History with 24. Succumimus with 22,000. Lord Hard Thrasher with 20. ATP Geopolitics in 7th place with 12. And Renegade, Chungus, and Canty Luden. I mean, who's that guy right there? With 5,822 euros. So a new donation coming in. We'll have to go and check that out here in a minute. Bypassing Tanya Fiona with 5,634. Falcon Fighter Tales with 3,290. Baba Yaga Fella in 11th. Silicon Curtain in 12th. Shills in 13th. Sprocket Bicycle 14th. Phil Ipner on the Edge in 15th. Rudy Acosta with Rudy Reactions in 16th. Terrell Star in 17th. And the Global Gambit in 18th place. Not that the rankings have any real meaning other than, the communities behind them. But, me and Renegade Chungus put together have pretty much fewer subscribers than almost everybody else here, except maybe like Rudy Acosta. So the fact that we're middle of the pack with the smallest community, that says a lot. I can't thank you folks enough for all the support you've given, and please keep it coming. And we've actually had 2 more donations, so let's scroll down to the bottom. And of course, with the donation to this fundraiser, you can get the Fortress pin or the Summer Sunshine patches, blue or red. Coming down to the donator wall, Mitch Ashdown with 100 euros. Thank you so much, Mitch. And Darpat with 10. Thank you both so much for your donations and keeping the daily donations going. They don't have to be huge donations, 5 euros, $10, whatever you can spare. It is appreciated. It is needed. And I thank you for all of it. Head back to the top here. And head back to the air alerts and catch up on chat again. Your Indiana town has been on the take forever. Yeah, I mean it's everywhere. It's not just a Russian thing, American thing, Ukraine thing. Corruption is everywhere, and all you can do is do what you can to fight against it. If you are hearing about corruption, it usually means it's being dealt with. If you are hearing about corruption, it usually means it's being dealt with. Real corruption is hidden normally. Yeah. Yeah, you usually don't hear about the corruption in America until after the statute of limitations is run out, or the person got charged with it. Who is the admin here? An admin of propaganda? I am the propagandist here, obviously. Steve Sain's kind of my admin right now, taking over for BB while she's indisposed, dealing with health issues and house issues. Tanya Fiona. Oh no, her channel is huge. Let's see, where is it today on my list? Heck with that. So, yeah, 21,600 subscribers. So, her channel is huge. She has, well, 21,600 subscribers she has. And, oh, here's me, 492. So, yeah, Tanya has a huge channel. Mick, you want the propaganda admin job? Okay, well, we'll discuss it once BB finishes up the who's and what's it, the Discord channel. Spectrum Blue Genie commercials are on YouTube. I'll have to look it up. We have trolls once in a while. Oh, you're not liking Misha? Yeah. A lot of people are jealous of Misha. Unfortunately, it's one of those things that I kind of have to pay attention to, especially when we're so close to like the first subscriber milestone that is out there. 500 memberships or 500 subscribers gives me access to memberships and super chats. So it'd be a nice way to easily fundraise for Ukraine. Steve Shane will sell his job for one farmhouse in Ukraine. Gotcha. And he's heading back to Telegram. And let's keep the air alerts in the background so we can see if something hops up. The situation in Dobropilya direction is stabilizing. AFU are taking all necessary measures to detect and destroy groups of Russian invaders and to strengthen the defense in Dobropilya in cross directions. Sersky has allocated additional forces in this area. There's another update later in the day, but later in this stream. Lets you know more about that as things are ongoing. The work of the anti-tank platoon and UAV unit of the Rifle Battalion of the 93rd Brigade near Kolodny Yar. I wonder how you could implement that, you know.
Зашло. Всі там дивись з лівої сторони будуть вибігати.
And that is the video from 95th Brigade. Meanwhile, early this morning, well, for us, Ukraine did a drone strike on Rostov. Smoke is rising from the city center.
Пиздец, ебануло просто только что.
No, Mitch, Minnow was the name of the boat that crashed on Gilligan's Island. And I don't care what anybody says, Marianne was way hotter than Ginger. Here is video of the building that was hit in Rostov.
На крышу влетел, бля. Разбился дом.
So apparently, Russian electronic warfare redirected the drone and it hit the building here, causing damage to the roof and a couple of balconies in Rostov.
Глянь, хуярит в дом, смотри. Глянь, хуярит в дом, блядь. Сука.
So how we know that that was an electronic warfare issue is when the drones come in for an attack vector, they're coming in level and then drop down in. This was level and just losing altitude. That was not the intended target. That was a drone affected by electronic warfare. And I thought this was interesting. Russian crude oil and condensate exports 2020 to 2025. The changes in the share of export or people buying Russian oil. The big thing is China went from 34% to 46%. India went from 1% to 36%. Turkey went up 4% from 2 to 6. Europe went from 50% to 5%. And the USA went from 2% to 0. For those of you who are a more graphic learner, China, India, the light beige is the rest of Asia and Oceania. The black is Turkey. Germany is the turquoise. The rest of Europe is light blue. And then this black is the United States. And then the gray is the rest of the world. So, yeah, as imports to EU, the imports in the EU shrank for Russia. The China and India sucked up that gap. Mainly India. Never seen Gilligan's Island, but it was a common theme back then. Shipwrecked, then Underdog took over from the official crew. Yeah. And of course, Hot Chicks. Yeah, Gilligan's Island was that same theory, except the crew didn't take over. It was more the crew was Larry, Curly, and Moe. And okay, before I show you this video, I have to say the disclaimer. This is a AI generated video. It does not depict actual happenings or the people or their opinions behind it. Again, this is AI generated video put out there to meme for Budanov.
Все.
Anyways, that AI video is running around Ukrainian internet circles and rather hilarious in my opinion. Oh, this did not give me the translated one. Let's jump to this over on Warriors Ukrainian channel. This gentleman puts together the news for you, and he operates out of Odessa. Great guy. I love his channel, and it's where I get a good portion of the stories from because he already translates it into English for me and you. Anyways, the governor of Belgorod, put out a statement today saying tomorrow everything will end, talking about the special military operation, and we will begin a major demining work. So that is the Russian government, the governor of Belgrade anyways, having really high hopes about the meeting tomorrow with Trump. Meanwhile, also in Belgorod, a massive UAV attack today. There's other videos out there showing, not showing anything really, so I didn't include them. But you can hear in the background the anti-aircraft batteries firing, drones flying overhead, and it's just like showing the streets empty, nobody out and about. And we come to the onion part of the stream. Get ready to cut them because, well, we are returning Ukrainians home to Ukraine. A new exchange of 84 people happened today. These are both military and civilians. Amongst all of them need medical care and significant rehabilitation. Among the civilians released today are those who were held by Russians since 2014, 2016, and 2017. Among the military personnel released today are defenders of Mariupol. And I'd feel very welcome too if these ladies were there to greet me. Just saying. Definitely have more on the exchanges later in the program. But for now, we jump to in the last 12 days, Ukrainian UAVs have hit 5 oil refineries. All of them have stopped their work. The Razan refinery there, 13.1 million tons per year. Novochubinsk, this one down here underneath the text, 8.3 million tons a year. Afip, which is this one up here, 7 million tons per year. Saratov, 7 million tons a year. Oh, and the last one, Volgograd, 14.8 million tons a year. So Ukraine definitely affecting the Russian oil machine. Yeah, the best jokes have a hint of truth to them, and well, more than a hint. And same with the best lies, unfortunately, always have a hint of truth. The onion is nice today. Yeah. The onion gets worse later on, that's for sure. Sherlock being a troll tonight. That's why Blue Genie was hilarious. Okay. The mechanized assault on Malatokmaka. The Russians ended up losing a tank, 4 buggies, 4 motorcycles, IFVs, AP infantry fighting vehicles, armored personnel carriers, 16 KIA, 10 wounded. Here is the video from Malatokmaka. At least you're not your own worst nightmare, Sherlock Holmes. I'm sorry, Mick, but we've all had weeks like that. Yeah. One of the videos coming out from the exchange. 36th Marine Brigade. Guys coming home from Mariupol. Keep in mind, some of these civilians have been held by Russians for 10 years. There's two personal stories from this exchange that we'll get into later. I have them linked right here, as a matter of fact. Senior shipman Alexander. He was the former commander of the minesweeper Henishek, which was destroyed by the occupiers. He tried to save his ship during the annexation of Crimea in 2014, and he has been returned home from Russian captivity today. During the full-scale invasion on February 24th, the serviceman was in Mariupol on the command ship Donbass. With his comrades from 3 ships, they first defended the ships, then the port, then the city, where Boychuk was surrounded and captured in Mariupol. The sad thing is, he looks so different. I don't think you can even pick him out in the picture we'll see later. One of the civilians that was returned today, Bogdan Kovalchuk, returned from Russian captivity today. The occupiers captured him back in 2016 when the boy was only 17 years old. You know, he's been in Russian captivity for 8 years and is 25 now. He spent the beginning of his adult life in a Russian internment camp. The occupiers accused the boy of collaborating with the SBU, blowing up cars and buildings of DPR police, and has been held by Russia for 8 years. Tell me that wasn't the Russians in the little green men in Donbass back in 2016. But yes, returning home. And today, finally, after 8 years, and, well, come back. I mean, that's... Okay, what's going on here? Just joking around. Okay. The Phoenix unit of the State Border Guard Services destroy an enemy tank and a BM-21 Grad MLRS in the Donetsk region. They also hit a Buhanka, a Lofan, a Ural, armored vehicles, several motorcycles, and the positions of the Russians. Here is video from the Phoenix group. So that was the video from Prime Unit. I've talked a lot recently about how Ukraine is starting to take over their airspace. Well, it's happening in the Black Sea as well. Russia lost an Su-30, which was performing a mission southeast of Zeminy Island. We just watched a video on Ukrainian special forces moving onto that island a couple days ago. A search and rescue operation is underway. Ukrainian Navy. So Russia can't even get out there to do search and rescue for the airplane. Ukrainians are doing it for them. Speaking of, the wreckage of the Russian aircraft was found on the sea surface. The pilots have not yet been identified. So Russia can't even maintain dominance in the Black Sea either. A nighttime attack on the Luke oil refinery in Volgograd sets 2 pipelines and primary oil processing unit on fire. At least 8 drones are reported to have successfully hit the plant. As a result of the strikes, the refinery has suspended operations. We were just talking about over the last 12 days. Here's video of, a short video of the hits on Volgograd refinery today. Get the onions back out because a son finally gets to meet his dad. The first hug after the prisoner exchange. Well, there's the guy that has come home. Little kids right in there getting squished. Hey there, General Consensus. Crazy Uncle Sherlock, huh? From Uki, all there to long lost relative who came home. Yeah, just one more time. Okay, so you see the kid right here trying to get in to hug his dad. So, yeah. Ooh, yeah. I definitely recommend replacing with PEX. I've had PEX lines freeze, thaw, and freeze again, and still no water leaks on the PEX. The one area where I had a leak was a small copper fitting. Meanwhile, in the Dobropilia area, if you armed forces of Ukraine are taking all measures to identify and destroy groups of Russian invaders who have penetrated the rear areas of the defense up here. Over the past day, servicemen of one of the mechanized brigades captured 5 of the invaders. So Ukraine is working to clean up this area. The front lines have stabilized and expect to see more news from this area in the future. Hopefully, good news. Destruction of Russian logistics from the Ukrainian Achilles unit. Good to hear general consensus. I appreciate that. Cool video from the Achilles unit. Speaking more about the Dobropilia, Kramatorsk area, forced evacuation of families with children from the city of Druskivka and the villages of Andriivka, Varvarivka, Novoandriivka, and Rohanski has been announced. All in all, those evacuations include 1,879 children. Making sure Russians don't have more kids to put on their, human trafficking website. Who are you gonna call? Worm busters. In this video, FPV drone operators sent a dozen Russian bikers to HE double hockey sticks. I don't know why that stuck in my head, but You know, it's funny, you don't even really see any enemy vehicles anymore, except very rarely. Mostly what you see is these dirt bikes or ATVs. And they're supposed to be the second army of the world. You know, as they say, the number 2 army. Yeah, because they're total shit. Yeah, I saw that video too. Yeah, I can't play it on YouTube because YouTube has very specific rules about self-harm. But yes, there is a video that came out today where a Russian soldier decides to use a rifle as a chin rest. Misses twice. I'll just say 3rd time's the charm. But it still took 7.5 minutes for his actions to complete. Yeah, Russia has ran out of the Soviet stockpile of BMPs, BTRs, and they're sending soldiers on not even motorcycles, dirt bikes and bicycles, scooters. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah, most of them are Chinese made dirt bikes. Yeah, that's exactly it. If the Russian soldiers won't buy their own cheap Chinese dirt bikes, they can walk. Then they don't get any resupply, evacuation, or support. Basically, they don't eat. A strike happened in occupied Donetsk. I believe this was a headquarters for one of the units in the area.
Ты видел, как горит? Да.
The one I love to bring up. An ammunition depot. I'm sorry. It was the ammunition depot one. So I was misinformed. Well, that's why I try to make the definition of not just saying motorcycle, but dirt bikes. Yeah, the Ukrainian does have a unit of motorcycles. They're not Harleys, but what's the other brand? They're actual bikes that you would see real people riding on streets or down the highway. What Russia is getting is these cheap 100, 150cc motorcycles from China that aren't worth a lick. Free drinks is always nice there, Sherlock Holmes. Yeah, street bikes, not dirt bikes. So, and you see in the videos, the Russians are using very cheap dirt bikes. This is the moment of the strike on the ammunition depot in Donetsk.
Мама, отойди, пожалуйста.
So you can hear the drone coming in.
Ебать! Я сняла его, пиздец! Еще один летит!
And there's the secondary detonation starting to go off.
Блять, он куда-то улетел!
Его сбили.
And just for shits and giggles, oh, what the heck is the name of that? AliExpress. Oh my God, stop with the freaking pop-ups. I believe it's I don't want the crap for it. I want the actual dirt bikes. And this is why I don't shop on AliExpress, besides the fact you get crappy parts, but let's try going at this a different way. Again, they're just going to show the parts. Okay, fine, be that way. There's a brand of ATVs and motorcycles that people are importing here to the US from China. And it's stupid. You can buy it off of AliExpress for like $800, and people are trying to resell them here for like $4 or $5 grand. It's just silly. But they're cheap, disposable, throwaway ATVs and dirt bikes, and it's just stupid. Okay, a lot of the strike in Donetsk. So they slowed this video way down to make it look more impressive, but That sound just makes it horrific. Okay, I'm not playing any more of those. But this was the massive Ukraine strike on Russia today. Drones being launched down in Crimea, Krasnodar, Rostov-on-Don, towards Volgograd, Saratov, Kursk, Belgorod, Ryazan, Tula, Kaluga, Bryansk, so on and so forth. Just a huge, huge number of drones launched from Ukraine. We're just now starting to see the results from that. In Kursk, Russian electronic warfare diverted a UAV from its course and drove it into a building. So the strike on Donetsk ammunition depot was the first to be seen because it's so much closer. And then Kursk, just bordering Ukraine. I'm sure we'll start seeing more and more videos popping up about the strikes tonight. Oh, where's my translate? It won't let me translate. Pull the fire extinguishers to your screens because Group 2 is causing a fire across the border. Omega Group of the ECU. My niggas is naughty, and your niggas is fucking corny. But you left me in the summer of '89, a very good year. Crack cocaine sales rose in every hood. Here till you got knocked, then locked down, bag of rocks in the fat knot. You shot down, what they tell me is you living with. Okay, I'm not sure what you're referring to. Not Sherlock Holmes saying, be honest, be open, and don't try to impose your views on others. Yeah, it is the recipe for harmony, but I mean, there's some people's opinions that I have to be diametrically opposed to, especially when those opinions are very uninformed and just repeating propaganda, not finding out the facts for themselves. Like that lady yesterday is saying, oh, the Ukrainian front is falling apart. You know, because of a small, I think we measured it as 11-kilometer advance by Russia, and oh, Ukraine's entire front line is falling apart. Meanwhile, in most areas, Ukraine has stopped the Russian advance, and in other areas has taken back lands from Russia. Like here in the Sumy area, you know, liberated Andriivka, Kindrativka, all the way up to Stepny. Russians got into this area here and were pushed back by Ukraine in the last day. So yeah, when the truth is the exact opposite of what's being said, I have to disagree and I have to correct. It's just, you know, yeah, well, according to Deep State, that's distant measuring tool. From here to the very tip is 13. To this, the very tip of this one is 12. So, oh yeah, huge, huge advance. And you know, what, 1.5 kilometers edge to edge that they control, with strong Ukrainian units moving in on both sides of this little gap. And they're already starting to eliminate and take prisoners from the people in this area. I personally, I don't think this advance is going to last long, and we will see this area in blue shortly. My personal opinion. We'll have to see if that comes to fruition, but I'll put it out there. From Rostov-on-Don, I think. Oh, I gotta sneeze. Did you mess around with our Rebs and air defense in Rostov? The Russians are so proud of the fact that they messed with the Ukrainian drone. And we've seen this one before without the branding, but I'll watch it again.
Хуярит в дом, смотри. Глянь, хуярит в дом, блядь.
So again, there's no dive down to hit the target. That hit that building because of electronic warfare. So yes, Russia was able to mess with the drone. Meanwhile, in Russia, let me translate this for you folks. It's kind of funny. In Russian Leningrad, a counter-revolutionary incident occurred. A orc larva, 3 of them actually, beat a man who resembled Lenin. When detained by local communists, they claimed that they supposedly avenged him for the revolution. So, yeah, just because a guy has a physical appearance that's similar to Lenin, 3 kids beat up a guy in Leningrad. First off, why is a grown-ass man fighting 3 kids? Taking swings at 3 kids. Second, it's... why are you punching somebody because he looks like Lenin? Oh, 63rd Brigade. Well, hold on, let me stop this. The 63rd Brigade, under attack by enemy FPVs, is demilitarizing Putin's dogs almost up close in Toretsk in the Liman direction. So this video is coming out of this area here. Well, let's head back to there and show you the video from Liman. Okay, I'll give you that one, Mr. Squiggle. Oh, I got more typical day in Russia for you coming up, Steven. Meanwhile, we get an aerial drone shot of the moment the guys got off the bus from Russia. I meant to drop the volume down, but I've heard that talked about, Osami, but not while Trump's in office. Is definitely not going to happen. And if you're wondering why they all have shaved heads, because the lice in Russian prison. It's easier to just shave the heads off, give them clean clothes, than it is to actually, give them the ability to treat anything. Looks like I sent that twice somehow. So she gave him a necklace with a cross on it, and he pulls out the necklace with the cross on it that he made while in Russian prison. Okay, Basami was talking about Alberta and the possibility it would join the U.S. and separate from Canada. The whole reason that thought train even exists is because of the oil field in Alberta and the pipeline from Alberta oil fields to U.S. refineries. Here, let me go to Google Maps. So, Alberta, the oil fields are right in here somewhere. They can't go to the ocean because the mountains, it would just be exorbitantly expensive. They can't pipe it to the east because, well, a hell of a long pipeline and exorbitantly expensive. So the U.S. is their only market for that oil. And basically, Alberta is the meat and potatoes of the Canadian budget right now. So, a lot of people in Alberta are fed up with having to basically support the rest of Canada and not getting the say they think they should have. So there's a little bit of political strife between Alberta and the rest of Canada. At least that is my take on it. In a quick dive away from Ukraine, let's head back to Ukraine. To Hudson Bay, yeah, Hudson Bay is frozen most of the time. It's not a real bay, or at least it was before global warming. Again, a video from the Phoenix unit. Demilitarized a hidden tank shed. A grad with a full package, vehicles, motorcycles, armored equipment, along with a dozen mercenaries in Donetsk. Is this a repeat? I'm sorry if this is a repeat. We'll watch it again. Yeah, I definitely think Alaska was a interesting choice of venue. Let's just say that. Used to ship grain to Europe through Hudson Bay? Depending on how much the climate changes, it does become viable. Alberta could just become its own little state. So yeah, that was a repeat. I apologize about the repeat, but it was a cool video from Phoenix Group. Okay, I'm not sure I should... let me make sure I got another video to show. So yes, I do. So let's forward this one. So I don't want this to be the last... I don't want this to be the last story. So this will be the last story. We're talking about the typical day in Russia. In Volgograd region, a local jealous man shot a judge with a carbine, cut off his genitals, shoved them into his mouth, and stabbed a knife into his eye. According to the Russian media, the jealous man is a special military operation veteran that has returned back to Russia. I can't show this one, but I will show this one because I believe it is blurred out. Oh, no, it's not. Never mind. Yeah, typical day in Russia. And for our last story of the night, like I said, we're just starting to see the results of Ukraine's UAV attacks on Russia from last night. It is warm in Sirzan now. Good UAVs have taken out another refinery. The fire at the facility is intensifying. So early morning in Russia right now. As you hear the air alarms blaring in the background. But yeah, this is what Russia has to look forward to more as their veterans return home. No counseling, no classes, no nothing, just violence in the streets. With that, that's the last video I had for you today. We'll come back to Telegram to look at some videos from the Vona Ukraina channel. Volgograd, that one. Let me zoom out here. So Volgograd over in this area. Check in on our campaign here. Looks like we have had 2 more donations. Let's go down and see who made those, and maybe I can play my anonymous. Oh, no, it was just Mitch's and Darpat's, but since I do want to play my anonymous, I'll play it anyways. Anonymous donations are always welcome as well. So 178 euros from reaching the next goal of 6,000 and going back to the spoonful of spicy mustard. Of course, if we reach that goal while I'm in Ukraine, it will be Ukrainian spicy mustard. Again, if you do have the means and are able to, please do donate to Cars for Ukraine. It helps out so much getting these vehicles to the soldiers that need it. And just, keep in mind that while we fundraise for vehicles, 4x4 trucks for Ukraine, Russians are running around on dirt bikes they had to buy themselves. And groups are fundraising for body bags in Russia. So let's keep working on these trucks. Head back to the air alert map and head to Vona Ukraina. Oh, my stomach's going wild here. Pardon me if you can hear that. So, enjoying his job in the army. A crisis with American pickles. That's interesting.
Армата! Постріл!
No, just some training for the Ukrainian soldiers being done there. And for the last video of the day, it doesn't say where this is, but you can see the Russian flag on the ground and the Ukrainian soldier holding the flag. So another liberated area by Ukrainian forces.
Ті спроби, які були, вони пішли далі обсуждати плани з Пригожиним, з Кобзоном, блядь. і удобрять нашу землю. Прапор тут наш, їхнє сміття і ганчірки блядь, на землі, далі будуть в землі. Всі, хто сюди прийшли. Тільки так і по-іншому ніяк. Віримо в ЗСУ.
Retaliatory tariffs and boycotts have meant no Vlasic pickles. Good thing I'm a Simply Pickles fan, or I make my own. But yeah, that's an interesting one to hear about. The pickle crisis in America. Yeah, well, we can thank the giant pickle in the White House. Oh wait, he's orange and not green. Actually, he's not so orange anymore. But hopefully, after tomorrow, he'll take Putin his bag of Cheetos and get his hair recolored. That is all I have for you tonight. Thanks for coming. Please remember to hit the like if you haven't. Subscribe if you haven't either. We're so close to the first benchmark for YouTube. It'll be nice to reach before I head to Ukraine. More importantly, keep supporting Ukraine. And I'll see you next time. Have a good night and stay safe, everybody.
Ooh.